law permits you to film public meetings only, and you must cease filming as soon as the meeting ends. Thank you. Right, we'll go to the agenda now. Item 1, apologies for absence. Have you got any, Mrs. Howard?
Yes, we have apologies for absence from Councillor Susan Hayes and Councillor Scott Brereton, and no substitutions.
Yes, Councillor Hayes, it's a family matter. She's been called away and there wasn't enough time to get someone. So we've 11 then.
Yeah.
We've 11, just when it comes to counting up with the vote.
Councillor Brereton, Chairman, is an appointment with his child at the doctor's been on the appointment he was yesterday.
Yes, well, thank you. Yes, some chance things are unavoidable, aren't they? Yes. So that's those two. Any declarations of interest or dispensations from anybody? I'll just mention, especially the first item, and to some extent the second, that I do live on Cattle Hall Street in Oswald-Twistle, but it's a very long street and I live at the other end, and I don't feel that I have any kind of interest in that application that would make me biased, nor am I a councillor for that street, although I live on it. I represent the adjoining ward, Emmanuel, so I don't feel that that I'm in any way biased or influenced about something that's going on at the other end of my street, but I thought perhaps I ought to mention it. Okay, so we'll go to item 2 now, the minutes of the last meeting. You've all got these minutes. Would somebody like to propose that these minutes be approved?
Proposed, Chairman.
Yes, Councillor Parkins, seconder please.
I'll second.
Councillor Pratt. All those who were here who are in favour, raise your hands please. Thank you. So now we come on to the applications. Mr. Prideaux isn't with us today, he's otherwise engaged, but we've got Mr. Burkett, Mr. Adam Burkett, who's our Principal Planning Officer, and he's going to be presenting the applications today. The officer here is Mr. Daniel Hoyle, he's a solicitor who advises this committee. We've got here Mrs. Rachel Calvert who takes the minutes. Have we got somebody else at the end as well? Oh,
Yes.
are you presenting as well?
Yes.
We'll come to you later, thank you.
Thank you. So item 3,
Yeah, okay. Can I just move to the side so I can see the screen for the presentation? Thank you.
I'll do the same, shall I get out of the way? Yeah, I'll just sit there.
Thank you, Chair. So item 3A is at the former Rings Mill on the west side, northwest side, Cattle Hall Street, Oswald-Twistle. The application is for full planning permission for the erection of 37 affordable 2 and 3 bedroom dwellings and associated works. The application site is an irregular shaped parcel of land contained on 3 sites by development. There was a former brick-built church and associated car park present on the site's south-east corner, which is proposed to be demolished. To the north of the site are properties on Charles Street, back onto the site, and a multi-use building used as a church hall and children's nursery. To the east of the rear elevations of dwellings on Catlow Hall Street, which is separated from the application site by the back street. To the south-east is a small gypsy and traveller site with associated dwelling house at Hayes Lane. The site bounds Stowbridge Lane to the south. To the west of the site is Tinker Brook and a large vacant industrial building. The application site is located within walking distance of the town centre of Oswald-Twistle and lies just outside the Riddings Conservation Area. It's proposed to erect 39 affordable dwellings for rented tenure. This would include a range of 2 and 3 storey properties in the form of 27 2-storey semi-detached and used properties and 10 2.5-storey semi-detached townhouses. Access into the site would be by the mini roundabout at Catlow Hall Street. The vehicular access would have a width of 5.5 metres with 2 metre wide footways on either side. A row of dwellings facing onto Stonebridge Lane to the south would be accessed directly from the highway. The application would also include an upgrade of the bus stop at 3 Hayes Lane. The proposed dwellings will be constructed from reconstituted stone with grey roof tiles. Dormer windows are proposed on the 8 2.5-storey townhouses. PV panel arrays are proposed on the roofs of all properties. Following work with the applicant, there are no objections from statutory consultees to the proposed application, subject to appropriate planning conditions. Commuted sums have been requested towards off-site public open space, waste recycling containers and off-site biodiversity enhancements. However, the applicant has demonstrated that due to the viability constraints, the scheme would be unable to provide financial contributions towards off-site public open space. The mix and tenure of the housing proposed is supported by the council's housing team and will contribute to the supply of affordable family housing in Perth. The site is in a sustainable location and within walking distance of services and facilities in hospital and public transport links. The scheme is considered to be acceptable in its design and in accordance with the separation distances as specified within the council's policies. The report recommends that, subject to the applicant entering into a Section 106 legal agreement, the matter set out in the report, the planning permission be granted subject to conditions, and the delegated authority be given to the Chief Planning and Transportation Officer to modify the wording of conditions as necessary. There is also just a late item for this agenda item. So concerns were raised in relation to the triangular shaped industrial building located adjacent to the application site. The building was subject to an illegal deposit of waste a number of years ago, estimated to be around 500 tonnes. The council has not taken any action in regards to the waste because it's part of an ongoing Environment Agency investigation. The council's Environmental Health Officer has confirmed that the waste is not considered to contain any hazardous waste types and would not be harmful to the health and well-being of future residents of the proposed development. The waste is not visible and has not raised any complaints to the Environmental Health Department regarding odours. So you can see there an aerial photo of the application site. The industrial building spoke about is the triangle shape building there. So this is a view of the site frontage that faces onto Stonebridge Lane. You can see there just the highest point of the site is the former church building that's proposed to be demolished. So this is a view into the site from the rear of Catlow Hall Street properties. And there are a few kind of lightweight structures that are already present on the site. The rear elevations of properties on Catlow Hall Street that face the site, and the required 21 metre distance between the rear elevations of those properties and the proposed dwellings has been satisfied. And these are properties on Charles Street, which also back onto the side. This is the proposed access point into the site from Catlow Hall Street. So you can see there on the left-hand side, what's currently a 4 metre wide footway. So the proposal is to reduce that footway to 2 metres in width and widen the carriageway. In terms of parking restrictions, there have been some concerns raised about additional parking restrictions around that junction. No traffic regulation orders have been requested by the Highways Authority. So you can see here the proposed site layout with the access point taken from the small unnamed street that we just saw the photo of. You've got there at the bottom of the image there the properties that would face out onto Stonebridge Lane, and the rest of the properties would be served by that access point. street scenes there. The bottom image is the street scene is taken from Stonebridge Lane, so you can see the land there does fall down, but it will be graded. And there's a range of dwelling types to add some interest to the development. I think that's it, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got some speakers on this item, so you can still buy this. So we've got, first of all, Ward Councillor Peter Brickley. If you'd like to come to the table, please, Councillor Brickley. You have 5 minutes to speak.
Thank you. Over the years, this has been a problem site where we've had fly tipping going on, and I remember going there with the chief executive, who is still with us, about 15 years ago, looking at this site. And whilst in general I welcome this development, I have a couple of major concerns. One is that the waste site that was described is constantly on fire, and on quite a few occasions the fire brigade have to shut off Stonebridge Lane. So I think it is still a threat to residents because we don't exactly know what's in there and whatever poison fires release. I also have another major concern, and that is we are going to have a 4 entrance and exit roundabout. And for those of you who've tried to cope with the roundabout in Ormerod Street, then you know how difficult they can be. As well as this, I do not think that 4 entrance and exit roundabouts are recommended by the Highways Department. And personally, I would much prefer to see an entrance from Stonebridge Lane. And I think that can be achieved. I think we're creating a very difficult problem at the bottom of Fielding Lane, Catlaw Hall Street, and whatever that street is that runs at the side of the Chinese chippy. So I do have major reservations, but generally I approve of housing that would tidy up this site.
Thank you, Councillor Brickley. And now we have the other ward councillor for St Andrews Ward, Stephen Smithson, please. Let's come to the table, Councillor Smithson. 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. As Councillor Brickley said, I support the building of 37 affordable homes on this brownfield site, but also have a number of concerns to raise. The first one is, as portfolio holder for parks and open spaces, I'm disappointed to see no Section 106 monies for parks, especially with these houses being affordable and would be attracting families. I'm disappointed there's no money put aside for open spaces. As Councillor Brickley has already said, the junction on Catlaw Street, where we were in the plans, the shortening the footpaths. The Travellers site, who own the Travellers site at 8 Hayes Lane, I've questioned that he might own that bit on that side, because he owns the rest of the block. So that might be an issue that we might have to come up with a solution with. If anybody has drove down Catlaw Street, it's not the best. And you stop, start all the way down, and that roundabout is used quite regularly. And as Councillor Brickley has said, with it being a forward junction roundabout, it could cause chaos. But also, I'm going to go away from Council, but I think Stonebridge Lane's not a great place to put an entrance neither, because cars come from the main road, they build the speed up and they could be at least 30 mile an hour before they hit that junction there. And I know Council Cassidy used to live quite close to that junction, and there's been accidents there that I know of. So regarding 8 Hayes Lane, the traveller's site, they've raised a couple of concerns with myself. As the property is high up, they've got concerns regarding the foundations where they're knocking down, where you plan to knock down the church. Is that going to affect their building? And they've suggested that there could be a perimeter wall or a fence put there instead of actually going through the foundations on there. And my last concern is obviously what Councillor Brickliffe has already mentioned regarding the warehouse. Every time it's set on fire, I'm tagged on social media regarding it. Stonebridge Lane's closed down, so one access route is shut fully, so everyone had to come down Cattle Street. Police and fire are in attendance. But one of my main concerns is not them, is the water supply in the area is cut off for a number of hours while they put this fire out, and that could affect these homes in that area. And that's it, thanks. Chair.
Thank you. We've got a third speaker on that application, Leon Armstrong, the agent for the developer. Thank you. Would you like to come to the table? You have 5 minutes to speak.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee. I'm here today to speak in favour of this proposal for 37 affordable homes on land at the former Ridings Mill in Oswald Twistle. In his report to members, your officers stated that the scheme is compliant with local and national policy, and that all technical matters are addressed or can be addressed by planning conditions. He recommends that you approve this application, and we believe there are compelling reasons to do so. The proposal will make beneficial use of previously developed land in a sustainable location, close to shops, services and public transport. The regeneration of urban sites such as this reduces the need to build an open countryside. Under-delivery of affordable housing in Hyndburn has created a significant shortfall, which this scheme can help to meet. The proposed 37 affordable homes satisfies the need for 2 and 3 bedroom properties for affordable rent. With completion of affordable housing in Hyndburn failing to keep up with demand, we hope that this is welcomed. The occupancy of the homes will be addressed by way of planning condition and enforced by a responsible housing association. The design of the proposed homes is sympathetic to the built appearance of Oswald Twistle. The layout has been arrived at to respect local character and minimise impact on neighbouring amenity. All spacing standards are met, and a sensitive landscape plan has been submitted which would help to soften the visual impact of development. Your Conservation Officer has also concluded that the development will preserve the setting of the adjacent conservation area and is in keeping with the surrounding built form. The materials used can be agreed with the Council through a planning condition, ensuring that the development fits in with its surroundings. We would also be satisfied with permitted development rights being removed for future occupiers by condition. We demonstrated through the submission and a supporting transport statement that the scheme is accessible and safe for pedestrians and motorists without impacting on the wider road network. Lancashire County Council agree with this and is subject to planning conditions. The construction management plan has also been provided by the applicant and will be kept to, ensuring that there are no wider highway or environmental impacts during construction. Members, no objections have been received by any technical consultees. All matters relating to ecology, noise impact, landscape, flooding, drainage, ground conditions have all been addressed. The applicant has also taken on board neighbour comments and amended the scheme to address concerns relating to overlooking. In summary, we believe the scheme will have a significant regeneration benefit for Oswald Twistle and will help to meet urgent affordable needs for local people. Your officers support this proposal subject to planning conditions and a contribution of nearly £30,000 towards waste containers and ecological improvements in the area. We hope that you agree with this recommendation and are able to support the application today. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, so those are all the speakers on this item, so we'll go now to the debate. would anybody, any of the members like to speak, please?
Chair, I will speak on this matter.
Or you used to live
I used to
nearby.
live at
You
number
don't now, but yes.
40 Stonebridge Lane, and
Yeah.
I've since my daughter's now taken over that property because I've moved out of it. I can agree with the local councillors. The issue of the hazards within the triangle is going to be detrimental to that area, and we do need to take that on board. There is the fire brigade. The fire brigade are there constantly because it's always been lit. And when they draw water, they draw it from the stream. It literally block off all the corner of the road on Stonebridge Lane, so access would only be from Cattle Street. I'm not against the properties being built there. I think it's good, and I think it's good for the area, but I think they need to be taken into consideration. Thank you, Chair.
Yes. I did actually myself receive a representation from the Church of Hospital Rotary Club president who lives in the area, and she said, surely they're going to demolish those warehouses. I said, that's not part of the application, you know, so, but thank you for commenting on that. Anybody else? Yes?
Question really. Highways are generally, sorry, Julie, I've just trolled, but highways are generally supportive of the application. I'm just reading the notes, and I'm not saying they don't see a problem, but they're generally supportive of what's been proposed, aren't they?
Yeah, the applicant has submitted a transport statement that would model the number of comings and goings from that proposed access into the site. There's no objections from Lancashire County Council Highways, and they've also said that there's no recorded collisions at the roundabout junction within the last 5 years based on its current usage.
I'm sometimes a bit cynical, Mr. Burkett, about when Lancashire County Council Highways come out to look at these situations, because sometimes I think they come out, you know, when it's a quiet time and they don't see the worst, but we can only, we have to consult them, they're the highway authority, so, but it is a very busy junction, yes, and that will be the access in. Also, the people who have the Chinese takeaway at 1 Capel Hall Street, they've raised some concerns, haven't they, about their access, because on the side of the shop they have the door to the living accommodation, and more so they have a roller shutter door to the garage, out of which they're to bring the trade refuse bins as well, so they asked for that to be borne in mind. Thank you. Anybody else? Councillor Hearn, yeah.
Yes, it's just something Councillor Smithson said regarding the water supply that's been switched off at periods of time. That's not good for new properties, is it?
So this is when the fire appliances have to come when there are fires, and this is sort of part of the precautionary action, as I understand. But no, it isn't good for anybody to have the water turned off, is it? No.
The other thing is that nothing being addressed about this warehouse and the...
It's been ongoing for a very long time, hasn't it?
It's, from what I understand, it's part of an ongoing Environment Agency investigation. The level of waste within the building is above and beyond what our own environmental health section would deal with. But our environmental health section have taken measures to restrict access to the site for members of the public. So there is house fencing around the building to prevent people from entering the site, and the waste is contained within that building. I don't know the regularity of fires and things being started at the site, but obviously it's out of the applicant's control, you know, in those terms. But it's within the hands of the Environment Agency and to some extent our own environmental health section.
It is a bit of a concern though, isn't it?
Well, I think it would be since about 2016 that this has been going on
Years and years.
And yeah, as you say, the Environment Agency were brought in, and I sometimes wonder what the purpose of these government agencies is, you know, where they don't seem to have any teeth sometimes, you know, to address these matters. But yes, it is a serious issue, yes, I agree. Right. Anybody else? Oh yes, sorry, Councillor
I'm
Parker.
just trying to get a picture of the site actually. The traffic from the new development, proposed development, will be coming up by the side of the Chinese one onto the roundabout, will it not?
Yes, if you were coming straight down Fielding Lane, you'd go straight across the roundabout, and it's an unnamed road. It's quite wide, and it's going to be widened a bit further. Yes, and the Chinese is there on the corner. The entrance entrance to most of the site will be there. Just a few of the plots, I think about 10 of the plots, it's access is planned from Stonebridge Lane,
Yeah.
isn't it?
9 plots would have the driveway access direct from Stonebridge Lane. The remainder would be via the
Remind you where, councillor.
unnamed
Remind you
access
where.
road there. As I say, in relation to the taker on the side there were no additional parking restriction proposed. So 28 dwellings will be served from the access. Obviously from officers' perspectives and from the Lancashire County Council Highways perspective, they haven't raised any issues. It's a site that's in a sustainable location, so they would have walkable access to services and facilities within Oswald Twistle, as well as public transport. The applicant has also submitted a travel plan in support of the application to try and promote the use of sustainable travel methods as well, to try and reduce the number of comings and goings from the site.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that the County Council Highways are allowing another access onto that. It's only a mini roundabout, isn't it?
It is only a roundabout, yes.
You know, and I think it's a bit much there actually, to be honest. Seeing the site, seeing the roundabout itself, and have they took into consideration the construction traffic when it's under construction? Because you come down Fielding Lane, obviously from the left of Stonebridge, cattle all straight onto the new development, but it's whenever I've been up that way, it's been very, very busy. There used to be a bakery there, didn't there?
Yes, it was the Quad Bakery, yes.
That's right.
And there's a school nearby, Higgins Methodist, just at the
That's
top
right,
of
yeah.
Alice
Yeah.
Street.
And the traveller's site is where Mr. Kelby's.
Yes, it used to be Kelby's, it's somebody else now, but they have that big bungalow that was mentioned, and they have, I think, applied permission for another dwelling, and it's a very nice site actually.
Yeah, no, I've been
Yes.
before. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, thank
So
you.
that triangle is the building we're talking about, isn't it? The blue warehouses, as I tend to think about.
Just to come back on the construction traffic, the applicant has submitted a construction regarding the management plan, so that they have set out how that will be managed during the construction of the site. And just in terms of the Gypsy and Traveller site, which is just located down here in this corner, we have the applicant has made efforts to reduce any impact or get rid of any impact on that that side by kind of rotating this property, so the windows from these properties will not directly overlook into that site.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, I think somebody raised a concern somewhere that the existing back street of Capel Hall Street might tend to get used as a rat run, you know, people being able to come down Charles Street or the other side street, but anyway, you get that anywhere, don't you, people trying to avoid junctions by taking the shortcut round the back streets. Anybody else want to say anything? Yes, Councillor Khan.
Can I ask, it used to be a mill, wasn't it, at one time, before it was demolished?
Well, the actual mill is the one that we're going to look at next, where the stores went, but it was all land belonging to the same site.
That land
Yes.
used?
And it's quite, from what we read, it's quite heavily
demolition?
contaminated. You know, the developer knows that and is prepared to spend money on decontaminating it from any industrial contaminants before building. But yes, but the actual mill was on the other side.
No,
and we're
why I'm
talking about
asking this
next.
question is
Yes.
whether this particular land was used prior to 2015.
All that, the warehouses, yes, it was the headquarters of shop fitters. You've probably heard of them. They were a very well-known firm. They had big blue vans and they used to go all over the country. And these they were high-sided vans, and these blue warehouses, as I call them, the very high garages that were perhaps built in the 1970s with roller shutter doors, and the vehicles used to come in off Stonebridge Lane and drive straight in, or they would drive straight out of that. But that firm was there for a long time.
So the entrance to that particular site was from Stonebridge Lane, not from.
Yes, that was to those warehouses. Yes.
So what's stopping the entrance from Stonebridge Lane now being reconsidered.
Well, that's not the proposal that's before us, but the entrance into the mill site isn't within the applicant's control, it's not within the application site.
And there is a bend in the road, and if you were coming from Union Road, there's a repair garage on your right when you get down to the bottom, and then the road swings round slightly, so if you had people coming in and out of a housing estate there, it might be rather a dangerous corner, I would think. There's only about 9 plots on the 3 marked for an entrance there, but thank you for raising that. Anybody else? Would someone like to propose that we accept the officer's recommendation for approval? Well, I'll propose. Was anybody prepared to second?
I'll second it, Chair.
Councillor Cox, yes. Those in favour, raise your hands, please. Those against? Anybody abstaining? So that's it, that's 11, yes. So that's carried then, that's been passed. So we now go on to the other part of the site now, with the proposed store. Over to you, Mr. President. Anybody that wants to leave now, you can, because if you stay, you sit down. Thank you.
Item 3B, land at Ridding Street, Oswald Twistle. This is just round the corner from the site that we've just looked at. This is an application seeking approval for reserved matters of scale, layout, appearance and landscaping in association with outline planning permission 11/20/0290 for the erection of a new store at Ridding Street, Oswald Twistle. The site lies within the Riddings conservation area. The principle of developing this site for the erection of a new retail store was established and acceptable by the outline planning permission that was granted in February 2021. Details of the access points into the site as well as the off-site highway works, including the provision of a new mini roundabout at the Ridding Street Union Road junction, was agreed at outline stage. The only matters for consideration as part of this application are scale, layout and appearance of the development and landscaping. The proposed scheme comprises one retail unit which measures approximately 2,270 square metres. The retail unit will be single storey, measuring 8.7 metres in height. The proposed unit is located on the eastern side of the application site, with the rear of the unit facing Watson Street. The proposed development includes associated parking, which will consist of 98 standard parking spaces, 4 EV charging spaces, 8 accessible places and 5 parent and child spaces. There will also be the provision of motorcycle parking and 10 cycle parking spaces. The shop frontage will comprise horizontally fixed insulated boards with powder coated aluminium, double glazed windows with bi-parting doors. Most of the northwest and northeast elevations will comprise stonework. The southeast and southwest elevations will be clad with vertically fixed insulated panels. Proposals include reducing the existing masonry wall which borders the site. The wall will be refurbished and repointed with lime mortar. There are 2 existing gatehouses on the site. Gatehouse 1 would be retained and repaired as part of the proposed development. Gatehouse 2 would be partly demolished while maintaining the roadside elevation. Landscaping is proposed at the western and northern side boundaries. There have been no public objections and there are no objections from statutory consultees. The scale and size of the store is consistent with the details approved at outline stage. The public facing elevations of the store includes glazing and brick detailing to provide some interest. It's considered to be an acceptable design and no objections have been raised by the council's conservation officer. The proposal to reduce the existing stone boundary wall height would open up views into the site and is supported. The existing lengths of palisade fencing would be replaced with stone walling to match. Pedestrian links would be provided from Ridding Street and at the northwest corner of the site where the Grade 2 Star War Memorial is located. A footpath would be provided following along Tinkerbrook into the site. At the site's pedestrian entrance from Union Road would be a stone planter constructed from stone reclaimed from the former Liberal Club. It's acknowledged there will be a low level of heritage harm resulting from the partial demolition of one of the gatehouses, but this is outweighed by the benefits of the scheme. The access and parking arrangements are considered acceptable by Lancashire County Council Highways. A detailed landscaping plan has been submitted with the application. This includes the planting of 26 heavy standard trees, including the creation of an avenue of native trees along Tinkerbrook, as well as shrub, hedgerow and wildflower planting, which will be the subject of a regular maintenance programme. It's considered that the development is in accordance with the relevant planning policies and the scale, layout, appearance and landscaping is acceptable. As such, the reserve master application should be approved. There's just another late update on this one which relates to the submission of an additional bat survey. The findings of that survey that was that there were no evidence of bats within the gatehouse number 2, which is proposed to be partially demolished, so the council's ecologist has just recommended an additional planning condition. So you can see the site there, which is the now demolished mill site. The triangular kind of industrial building that we were previously speaking about is just to the south. Properties on Ridding Street facing the site to the north. So you can see that the existing kind of high stone wall facing onto Ridding Street, and gatehouse number 2 there, which is the gatehouse which is proposed to be partially demolished. And there's the second gatehouse and looking towards Union Road from Ridding Street. And that's looking between the 2 gatehouses. This is proposed to form a pedestrian access into the site. And the current view from the War Memorial with the current kind of house fence in there. So this is the site layout which is in conformity with the parameters plan that was approved at outline stage. So you've got a pedestrian access here from Union Road with a walkway alongside Tinkerbrook and heavy planting on there. You've got the vehicular access into the site here from Ridding Street, a second pedestrian access up here in the site located in that part of the site. It's just an illustration in terms of the works of the boundary treatment. So you can see there the proposal to lower the wall height along Ridding Street and put some kind of coping stones on the top there. The elevation of this gatehouse would be retained and the gatehouse 1 would be retained in its entirety.
What about the wall on Watson Street, you know, which would be at the back of the store?
This
is that staying at its current
It's not,
height?
this is the Watson Street elevation, so that one will also be lowered in a similar fashion.
Right, yes.
I just ask Mr. Murphy, while you've got that up, where's the delivery access? The delivery
There's only one entrance from
I
the
don't believe
there.
if you're looking at the side from Ridding Street, the delivery access will be slightly further.
It's near the
towards Union
cenotaph,
Road.
it's just there's only one vehicular access for both, you know, the artists that are coming bringing supplies and the customers that are coming shopping. There's only
So
one
as you
way.
come off your Union Road, you turn right into the site
Yeah,
itself.
there'll be a mini roundabout, that was in the other application, at the
Yeah.
junction of Union Road and Ridding Street. And so, yeah, so they would turn there, and then as soon as they entered Ridding Street, they would swing right into the store.
and then they
into
go
the
to
car park, yeah.
is there a turn circle within the site?
Yeah, the applicant has provided a swept path
Right.
analysis to demonstrate
yes.
the maximum size of vehicles that would
Yeah.
be accessing the site and turning and entering, turning, leaving,
And
and
they
putting
come out the
forward
same
here.
way.
And also, I think it was mentioned before that there'll have to be a traffic regulation or yellow lines on the bottom. There are houses, of course, you perhaps know, at the bottom of Reading Street on the opposite side, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't be feasible for people to park there because when these big Arctics have to swing round, they wouldn't have enough room. So
Yeah,
that will have to happen, won't it? Just at the bottom end there.
that's right. So the kind of the public facing elevations of the building, this will be the elevation that faces Union Road, this one facing Reading Street. This will be the back of the store essentially, which is the one that faces Watson Street, and that would be the elevation that kind of backs onto the existing industrial unit. So there's some additional kind of interesting animation added to obviously the public facing elevations. That's it, thank you, Chair.
Okay. Speakers now. Yes. Could I have Councillor Brinkley first, please? Or Councillor? 5 minutes, Councillor Brinkley.
Can I first of all welcome this development? It will be, I think, the first big store that we've had in Oswald-Twistle, and it's a much needed store, and when it was announced on Facebook, residents generally welcomed it. It will actually tidy up a very derelict brownfield site, and whilst I am delighted that there is a plan for landscaping the area, because it is in a very prominent part of the town, it is important that the area surrounding the development is kept neat and tidy, and I hope, I don't know whether the store will own the surrounding land or whether the development company will own it, but I would call on them to make sure that it is kept neat and tidy. As I say, it's in a very prominent part of the town. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Brinkley. Councillor Smithson, here are the ward councillors. Councillor Ward, thank you. 5 minutes, please.
Obviously, Councillor Brickliff's just basically said it's been a site that's been vacant and derelict for quite a while, and it's become an eyesore of Oswald-Twistle, to be honest. The application to redevelop the brownfield site will give Oswald-Twistle's High Street a boost and will generate over 100 full-time and part-time jobs, which will boost the local economy. Yeah, so I fully support the application. I've got one slight concern regarding the parking on Reading Street. As you know, Chair, because you live in the area, it's part. If they're coming in on the right hand side, is all that going to be yellow line? Because at the moment it's not, and they park there. So you've got then, I think you're going to up until the con club, so you're talking at least 30 cars maybe. Where are they all going to go? That's my question. Could it be possible that the residents could set up a permit parking with home and bargains to at certain times be able to park on the say with Civic, when we reopen the Civic, obviously parking around the Civic's it's a big issue for local residents. Could that be something that we bring in as well? Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. And our third speaker is Adrian Fox, the developer. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the Planning Committee, I'm Adrian Fox, the agent acting on behalf of the applicant TJ Morris, who also the freeholder and will operate the store under Home Bargains Head Trading Arm. The application site comprises a brownfield site that is largely cleared in an urban location. The Reserve Matters application before you provides the next stage in the planning process to deliver the comprehensive redevelopment of a site that has long been identified as suitable for alternative uses. This has been reflected most recently by the Council granting outline permission for retail development in February 2021. The principle of retail on the site is therefore established and accepted, as too are the access arrangements associated off-site highway works. The application before you today deals only with matters related to scale, layout, landscaping and appearance. We've worked closely with the officers of the Council in consideration of the application before you today. This has included engaging with officers during pre-application discussions to ensure that the proposal before you accords with the relevant planning policies and the vision that the Council had for the site when granting outline permission. We've therefore fully endorsed the officer's recommendation to grant planning permission to finally enable delivery of this prominent site in Oswald Twistle. In planning terms, the detailed scheme being advanced through this Reserve Matters application conforms with the parameters approved by the outline commission as reflected by the officer's recommendation. In terms of scale and layout, these are entirely in keeping with the parameters set by the outline permission. Likewise, the appearance is in keeping with it and is sympathetic to the character of the area, including the site's location within the conservation area. The proposal will also deliver improved landscaping and greening of this urban site, including the planting of a number of trees alongside other ecological and biodiversity measures. This will lead to achieving a biodiversity net gain on the site of more than 102%. This substantial betterment is a clear further positive association with the scheme, particularly given the existing position. Overall, the proposal to deliver a high quality development, fully respecting the parameters and principles set through the outline permission and the Council's long-standing aspirations to redevelop the site. The proposal to provide modern retail floor space and deliver a national retailer, Home Bargains, that is not currently represented in Oswald Twistle. This will provide improved choice and reduce the need for residents to travel elsewhere for some of their shopping needs, resulting in more sustainable shopping patterns and retain local expenditure in the town. The application proposals will result in a number of economic and social benefits as well as supporting the aims of the planning and economic policy at both local and national level. These include the creation of new jobs in the region of 100 and significant investment both directly and indirectly in the local economy. To conclude, it is important to note the following. Officers agree that the proposals are acceptable when considered against relevant planning policy and the parameters set by the Planning Commission, as reflected by the recommendation. There are significant benefits associated with the development proposals. These include securing the long-term occupancy and improvement of a prominent brownfield site that has long been identified as suitable for development, but is currently largely vacant, making no positive contribution to Oswald Twistle. The creation of jobs through both the operative phase and construction phase, substantial private sector investment in the local economy, improved consumer choice and competition for the benefit of local residents, overall betterment in terms of biodiversity and landscaping in this location, delivery of on-site ecological enhancements which are supported by the Council's ecological officer. These benefits are significant and should be given full weight in the determination of the planning application. Thank you for your time today, and I do hope you can support your officers in his recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the speakers. Would any member of the committee like to speak, please?
Chair, just to say, yes, I agree that it is good for this brownfield site, but what I'd like to be considered more of all is the cenotaph that is central to Oswald Twistle, and it's right on that location. And I think such times as Remembrance Sunday and that, I think I'm sure that we can work with the people to ensure that that is sacrosanct on that day. Thanks.
Yes, because the backdrop has looked scruffy for a long time, hasn't
It has indeed, yes.
The demolition site, etc. So yes, that is important, I think. Yes. Anyone else? Well, I can only think really, it's a good thing. I mean, I live not too far away, and that site has been an eyesore for a very long time, and it's in a prime position in the town. And also the store, as others have said, I think the people in Oswald Twistle are in the main in favour of it, and because they want to shop there or because they hope they can get a job there. So one or two snags obviously will have to be overcome to do with resident parking on Reading Street, etc. But in the main, I think it's a positive use of the site. So I'm prepared to propose that we accept the officer's recommendation for approval
I'll second that,
trustee
Chair.
Cassidy. Those in favour, please raise their hands. That's all 11.
Okay.
Thank you, so that one's passed. Shall we break now and have another?
We all there to...
Hi, Stephen.
We'll just have we've been going nearly an hour now, so we'll have a break now for, 5 to 10 minutes. We'll reconvene at 4 o'clock.
Well, I should turn this off, I'll get done with.